Macro and Microlinguistics.
Have you wondered why linguistics has so many branches? How can linguistics be powerful? Why do we need to study language? In this subject, we will tackle linguistics and its branches. I'm pre-service teacher said will help you to fully understand it. So prepare your pen, paper, and most importantly, brace yourself for this introduction to linguistics. So now, what is linguistics? Linguistics is the scientific study of language and its structure. It delves into the structure, sound system, meaning, and use of human language. It's like a detective investigating the mystery of how we communicate. The branches of linguistics are phonology, phonetics, morphology, syntax, semantics, pragmatics, social linguistics, historical linguistics, computational linguistics, and applied linguistics. Linguistics is a fascinating field that offers a window into a human mind and the complex ways we communicate. It has many practical applications such as language education, speech therapy, translation, and even artificial intelligence. So now let us illustrate the two components of linguistics, which is micro and macro linguistics. So microlinguistics, it examines the individual components of language, like sounds, words, and their structure. The example of this is phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. Microlinguistics zooms into the small details of language like building blocks of words and how they are strung together into sentences. On the other hand, macrolinguistics studies the broader contents of language, its use in society, and its evolution over time. The example of these are social linguistics, psycholinguistics, neurolinguistics, applied linguistics, computational linguistics, discourse analysis. So microlinguistics steps back and look at how language functions in the wider world, considering its social and historical context. Both micro and macro linguistics are essential for understanding the complexity and richness of human language. They work together to provide a comprehensive view of how we communicate and how language shapes our world. So now here is pre-service teacher Ali to discuss microlinguistics furthermore.
Thank you for that, pre-service teacher said. Hi there, I'm pre-service teacher Ali, and now I will tell you why those are important to study. Studying both micro and macro linguistics allow us to see how language operates both on individual level and the societal level, making it easier for us to understand how communication works in a diverse context. Microlinguistics is the study of smaller individual elements of language, focusing on how language works at the level of sounds, words, phrases, and sentences. Microlinguistics has 6 branches, and those branches are phonetics, phonology, syntax, morphology, semantics, and lastly, pragmatics. And now, pre-service teacher Jay will explain those branches of microlinguistics.
Hi everyone! Today we'll explore the 6 branches of microlinguistics which focus on each details of language structure and usage. These branches helps us understand how language works from its smallest parts. Here are the 6 keys area: phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, pragmatics, and semantics. The first branch is phonetics, which studies the speech sounds. It's all about how sounds are produced, transmitted, and perceived. For example, let's take the sound P and B. The difference between these two sounds lies in whether the vocal cords vibrate. In P for pat, is voiceless because there is no vibration, while in B, as in boy, is voiced because the vocal cords are vibrating. Next is phonology, which focuses on how sounds function within a specific language. For example, in English, the P in spin and pin are pronounced differently. One is aspirated, meaning there's a puff of air, and the other is not. However, this difference doesn't change the meaning of the word in English. On contrast, in other languages like Hindi, small changes in aspiration can change the meaning of the word entirely. Phonology studies these sounds patterns and rules.
Moving on to morphology, this branch examines the structure and formation of words. It breaks down words into smallest meaningful units called morphemes. For example, we have the word unhappily. We have three morphemes there. The un, meaning is not, happy, which is the root word, and ly, which turns it into an adverb. Morphology helps us understand how words are built and how they change form.
Now, let's talk about syntax. Syntax is a study of sentence structure, how words are combined to form phrases, clauses, and sentences. It looks at the rules that dictate word order and grammatical relationships. For example, in English, we say, I love pizza, not pizza love I. Syntax ensures that sentences are meaningful and grammatically correct. Moving on, we have semantics, which focuses on meaning and language. It examines how words, phrases, and sentences convey meaning and how the meaning changes based on context. For example, again, the word banked can mean a financial institution or the side of a river, depending on how it is used. Semantics explores these nuances to make sense of language. And finally, we have pragmatics, which is about how we use language in real-life situations. It is not just about what the words mean, but what the speaker really wants to say. For example, if your mom says, "It's cold in here," she might really mean, "Can you close the window?" Pragmatics is about understanding the hidden meaning or the intention behind the words depending on the situation. And that wraps up our overview of the branches of microlinguistics. We covered phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics, each offering unique insights into the structure of function of language. By studying these branches, we gain a deeper understanding of how language works, even in the smallest part of it. That's all, thank you.
After explaining the definition of each branches, here we have some examples for us to truly understand the different branches. The first branch to have its example is phonetics, wherein the study of sounds. First example will be a child learning to say the S sound by placing their tongue behind their teeth. Another example is where a linguist records different accents to compare how people pronounce the same word. Next branch is phonology, the study of sound patterns. First example, in English, the P in pin is aspirated or a puff of air, but in spin it is not.
Second example is learning why name can end the word in English as in sing but not begin one. Moving on to morphology, the study of word parts. First example would be breaking the word unhappiness into un, meaning not, happy, and ness, which is state. Second example would be is understanding that adding the ing to run makes running, which shows actions is ongoing.
Now, here are the examples for syntax, the study of sentence structure. First example, recognizing that the cat sleeps is correct, but sleeps the cat is not. Second example, a student learns why I saw him yesterday makes sense, but yesterday him saw I does not. Second to the last branch, the semantics, study of meaning. First example, understanding how bank can mean a place for money or the side of a river.
Go.
Second example, realizing that the sentence, the dog barked loudly, means the dog made a loud noise. And lastly, the pragmatics, the study of language in context. Example number 1, a friend says, "Can you pass the salt?" They are not asking if you can, but are politely asking for it. For the last example, understanding that I'm fine might mean someone is not fine, depending on their tone. After we understand microlinguistics, let us now proceed to the definition of macrolinguistics. Macrolinguistics is all about the connectivity of language with the bigger picture such as society, culture, and the brain. It analyzes how people use the language in real life. And the branches of the macrolinguistics will be the psycholinguistics, sociolinguistics, neurolinguistics, discourse analysis, computational linguistics, and lastly, the applied linguistics.
Hello everyone, I am pre-service teacher Brel, and let us dive into the concept of these branches. First branch we have psycholinguistics. It is the study of language and the mind. It dwells on the linguistic behaviors as well as the psychological processes. On the other hand, these processes includes 5 components, which are problem solving, memory, perception, attention, and learning to have a deeper understanding of human language. Furthermore, we have social linguistics, in which it tells us the relationship of language and society, and how these social factors influence the structure of language. Since it's the study of language and society, it focuses on the cultural norms, backgrounds, traditions, expectations, and its context depending on the culture. On the other hand, we have neurolinguistics, in which it studies the disturbances of language comprehension and production caused by the damage on a certain part of our brain. Its primary purpose is for us to understand how the brain operates as a system. Moving on with discourse analysis, this branch of macrolinguistics is about the study of how meaning is constructed in different contexts. This allows people to find the purpose and unity of the language between a communicative event. Second to the last branch of macrolinguistics is we have computational linguistics. The concept of this branch focuses on the application of various linguistic theories in order to formulate innovative computational techniques and strategies to address problems in relation to natural language processing. It is usually used as an instant machine recognition, such as speech recognition system, text-to-speech synthesizers, and many more. Lastly, we have applied linguistics. This branch of linguistics emphasizes the role of linguistics in helping us understand real-life problems in areas such as psychology, sociology, and education. Personally, this branch is my favorite among the branches of linguistics due to the fact that it aims to address societal issues through language. As part of the LGBTQ+ community and as a pre-service teacher, it is difficult to teach young minds when discrimination about being a part of LGBTQ+ community is rampant. So how about you? What is your favorite branches among this? So all in all, these branches are important for a reason that it offers a comprehensive analysis on how language shapes us and how language is shaped by the society. And as for you guys who are watching this educational video and an aspiring educator someday, it enhances our teaching strategies and practices. Furthermore, studying this allows us to recognize cultural and social factors that influences production of language and its usage. Thus, we can create a more inclusive learning environment despite of linguistic barriers. So now we have Miss Moncada, our pre-service teacher, to illustrate real-life example of each branch of macrolinguistics. Miss Moncada?
To better understand macrolinguistics, how about we relate it to the real world? First is psycholinguistics. Psycholinguists study the characteristics of human language, such as the differences between modern and traditional language, because psycholinguistics is the study of how the brain processes language. Speaking of psycholinguistics, let's talk about neurolinguistics. When you say the word carrot, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? For me, it is this orange, delicious vegetable. I am sure that you guys also thought of that too. This is an example of neurolinguistics. Our brain processes immediately what we see or hear and it gives meaning to it. We're done with the mind and language. Let's enter the world of society and language. Social linguistics. Mano, can I have tusok-tusok please? Well, let's go na. Data type for school is an example of Taglish which falls in the branch of society linguistics. Discourse analysis. When you watch the politicians in the television, do you wonder what is the thought behind the speech or what is the motivation behind it? When we think about these things, discourse analysis is at home when it comes to analyzing the word structure, tones, and the context of the speech. Computational linguistics. Have you ever used Google Translate or any language app to learn a new language? I'm pretty sure you had. Using AI or machines to translate is an example of computational linguistics in the real world. And lastly, applied linguistics. Language is the window to someone's culture. Do you believe in this? Well, if you want to know if this is true, how about let's apply applied linguistics and learn together? Because applied linguistics is an interdisciplinary field that studies language in real-world context to address practical issues. Linguistics is a scientific study of language and its structure. There are two components of linguistics. The first one is microlinguistics. Microlinguistics is a branch of linguistics that studies language system in an abstract way. Under microlinguistics is phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. The second component of linguistics is macrolinguistics. Macrolinguistics is a study of language system in its broadest sense, in relationship to culture, society, language, and history in other fields. Under macrolinguistics are psycholinguistics, discourse analysis, sociolinguistics, and other more. Studying macrolinguistics and microlinguistics provide us a holistic view of linguistics. Studying these two, the first one is microlinguistics. They gives us a grammar instruction, and macrolinguistics contextualizes language use. As a future educator, we can make our students critical thinkers about language, culture, and society.
Hello there students, I'm your pre-service teacher Nick, and today we're gonna go to the University of Makati to interview some students about their takeaways on our topic, micro and macro linguistics. Okay, so what is your name?
Okay, my name is Mayan Sichanko.
Okay, so what are your takeaways from the topic micro and macro linguistics?
Okay, so my takeaways from the macro and micro linguistics is that macro, or what I've learned about macro is, it is the general view about linguistics, more on psycholinguistics or more on sociological terms. While in micro, it is about the narrower version or the dissected version of linguistics, focuses on morpheme, syntax, and such.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Mayen. Okay, so now we have Mr.
You can call me Jabo.
Okay, so Mr. Jabo, what are your key takeaways on the topic micro and macro linguistics?
Fine, thank you. So after the discussion, I have learned that microlinguistics focuses on the narrower view of linguistics, while macrolinguistics focuses on the wider view. And they have different concepts on those ideas, such as in microlinguistics we have phonetics, morphology, syntax, and such. Then on the wider view on macrolinguistics, it focuses more on the relevance of linguistics in the society, which has it also have the concepts of sociological linguistics, psychological linguistics, discourse analysis, and etc. And that's all for it.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Jabo.
To test your knowledge, let's have a quiz. Phonology is a branch of linguistics that belongs to Letter A, macrolinguistics. Letter B, microlinguistics. Letter C, both micro and macrolinguistics. The answer is letter B, because phonology is a part of microlinguistics because it focuses on the structure and organization of sounds within a specific language. For the second question, which branch of linguistics studies the smallest units of sounds in a language? A. Syntax, B. Semantics, C. Phonetics. The answer is letter C. Phonetics is the branch of linguistics that studies the smallest units of sounds in a language. For the third question, the study of how language is used in different social contexts is known as A. Social linguistics, B. Psycholinguistics, C. Historical linguistics. The answer is letter A. Social linguistics. Social linguistics is the study of how language is used in various social contexts, depending on factors like region, social class, gender, and context. The fourth question is, in the field of blank, a branch of microlinguistics, researchers study how language is used to convey meaning during interaction. A. Syntax, B. Morphology, C. Pragmatics. The answer is letter C. Pragmatics, because pragmatics examine how context influence the interpretation of meaning in communication.
Okay, there you have it. So looking back, microlinguistics focuses more on the structure of language, while microlinguistics explore how language operates in society. Again, microlinguistics, the approach dives deeper on the internal structure of a language, such as phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. While in macrolinguistics, perspective examines language in a broader social, cultural, and functional context. It explores how language interacts with society, politics, culture, and cognition. By understanding these two types of linguistics, we can appreciate both the technical workings of language and its role as a social tool. Again, thank you for watching this educational video.
Thank you. Hope you learned something.